Irreverent Warriors, and super excited to be here and to be back today. We took last Friday off because we were at Combat Outpost IW. We were at the annual IW Leadership Retreat, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's my name is Hugh Tyson, and I'm here representing Irreverent Warriors, and we've got Will Wisner, Executive Director from the Grunt Foundation. And we're going to be covering a bunch of hot topics today. We're going to be talking about the upcoming IW events that we have going on, focusing on some in Pennsylvania and Tennessee. And we've got Matt and Gunny Shawhan, retired Gunnery Sergeant Shawhan from Tennessee. We're going to be talking about that, as well as Ed Eaton, our Director of Operations. Then we'll get into our IW Leadership Retreat and what we've been doing deep in the Ozarks at Combat Outpost IW for the past week. Then we'll get into the Grunt Foundation Integration Retreat in Indiana that's happening in 2 weeks.
Yes.
May 16th through the 18th. And then we'll talk about the new IW Leadership Creed that all the leaders developed at Combat Outpost IW. So, yeah, it's a packed agenda.
It is, and we've got so many other crazy things going on top of that we've had to go through the last week, all of them good things.
Tell me about it.
Well, just a podcast. We dropped a beekeeping episode of Triangular Compass.
That's right.
Last week. I think this week we dropped a new episode of Gaslighting the Warfighter, where we talked about the battle in the hemp industry that's going on across the country and really drilled down into the legislative battles inside of Missouri and Texas. So both of those are on all of our social media channels and our YouTube channel. And we had our last X Spaces Live that we do every Wednesday at 7 Central.
Okay.
We just did that, and that was especially a tough one, man. We had Dr. Larry Miller, who was the father of MA2 Mark Miller, who was a service member veteran that committed suicide out at the Audie Murphy VA in protest over the psychotropic medications that he had been given. He's the 16th veteran in the country to do that, to make that kind of a statement.
No way.
Yeah, and so we had two other families that have also had that same type of tragedy, not at the VA, but basically the same cookie cutter story. Very powerful. So if people want to watch that, they can go to our X page. And really, I encourage everybody to do that. When we had, in true VA style, some VA doctor got on there and was one of the last people to talk. So it's around the 1 hour, 44-minute mark or something like that. I encourage everybody to go get it just to get a good example. It highlights just how tone deaf these people are and how, by God, arrogant that they are. This guy waited through the whole program and then comes on and misunderstood what Dr. Larry was talking about, where he was saying we didn't have psychotropic medications back in the 1960s, in the 70s. So the therapists were actually doing psychotherapy, real psychotherapy with their patients. And this guy, all he heard was whatever he wanted to hear, I guess. So he does this big, super dramatic reveal.
He was trying to lecture you.
He was trying to lecture the doctor. And not only did he lecture him, he did it from this like super arrogant place and then started belittling his credentials. And this is a guy who is also a doctor. Dr. Larry is also a doctor.
So let me get this right. So Larry's son is a military veteran being served at the VA. He's given a bunch of really intense pharmaceuticals that he didn't ask for.
Yep.
He has a bunch of interactions. He goes to the VA and takes his own life there in San Antonio on the steps of the VA.
Yes.
And his father, and this is a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
And his father, 2 days ago, comes on a show to talk with you, and a VA doctor got on the podcast and the live stream and started lecturing
and attacked him, and then attacked his credentials. And the point he was trying to make was he had misunderstood what Larry was talking about. We didn't have psychotropics back in the 60s, and so he was trying to claim that Larry was claiming that there were SSRIs back in the 60s, which was the opposite of what he was saying. So he totally botched it and came out all super dramatic and, well, Larry, The problem here is that there were no psychotropics in the 60s. They did not become a thing until 1987. And I know this, dramatic pause, because I am a doctor at the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, and I take great exception to how you would put out this bogus information to your people listening, and this is a disservice, and as a board-certified physician, it's just absolutely crazy. Luckily,
there's a lot of ego.
Oh my God!
There. Is that serving patients the best?
Well, it's pretty well how my healthcare seems to go. I go in, they don't listen to what I say, misunderstand it, and then lecture me on how they can't increase my benefits while they try to give me more pills. So I think it was, if the VA knew this dipshit had done that, I think they would die from embarrassment. So I think we should definitely make sure the VA becomes aware that that guy did that. So anyway, that was our week. So what's in store for us coming up with IW?
We've got Ed Eaton on. Let's go ahead and bring up Ed. He's going to give us a rundown on IW events. What's new, what's hot, what's coming, and why you should care. What's exciting, why you should get involved.
All right, can you hear me?
Ed.
Yep.
Hello, Ed.
You got me?
Get your mic's muted.
Unmute me then.
I don't know, man. We may have to come back to Ed.
I'm gonna do Ed, move your mouth. So what
I'm
we
moving my
have
mouth.
going on in IW land is
Yeah.
Well.
No worries.
We'll have to come back to Ed later.
All right, let's try somebody else.
Yeah, let's go to
try.
the
Is Matt around? Is Matt available from Pennsylvania? Yeah. What do we got going on?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. It's magic.
Here we go. So it's an Ed problem then. Okay.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about what's exciting about your upcoming hike, where about it's going to occur, and anything unique that you guys are going to do that's fun or humorous?
Sure. So my hike will be taking place in Philadelphia this Saturday. We start out on this really cool area in the center city of Philadelphia called it's called Sierra Green, and it's a rooftop grass area. So we're meeting on top of this roof that overlooks all of the city. Yeah, and
This is in the background there. That's some tech stuff going on. They're trying to unfuck Ed.
Gotcha. Yeah, so my hike, one thing we do for Philadelphia, we do like a scavenger hunt throughout the hike. So we give people a piece of paper with a list of different things throughout the city that I tell people to take a picture of that particular spot with another veteran. So it kind of gets people out talking to other people, getting pictures with other people, and possibly like sharing pictures with them to kind of maintain contact with the veterans that they meet throughout the hike. And it keeps people involved. So they're not just like wandering around the city, not doing anything. It keeps people out and about and is focused on the city and their veterans they're walking with. This year, unfortunately, we cannot do the Rocky Steps in the art museum. Unfortunately, there was another event that took precedence over us. It was like an MS walk going through the same area, so we can't do that. But we're hitting most of the other major landmarks in Philadelphia that people look for. And my hike is the Marine Corps birthplace. As an Army guy, it hurts my soul a little bit, but we focus on the Tun Tavern. We have to go to the Tun Tavern to appease all the jarheads. I mean, I bring crayons. I have the Tun Tavern. I use small words, so I get all the Marines happy and wandering through the city with me. Let's see.
Is that place still like operational? Like the Tun Tavern? Aren't they rebuilding that thing or something? Where it's a big destination event?
Yeah.
I know it's like sacred for Marines, right?
Yeah.
So right now it's just a sign down by Front Street. It's just a little sign saying this is the Tun Tavern. They're rebuilding the actual tavern a few blocks from there. And if you're local, you can buy. They have like beer steins you can purchase. I don't know how much they are, and you can drink for free as long as you have that stein for the rest of your life, which is a good and bad idea. depending on who's purchasing these steins, I guess. But yeah.
Just a quick technical note as I'm seeing the comments are pouring in there that everybody else is able to hear Ed. Just we can't hear him in studio, but the live stream audience can. So
Fascinating. That's hilarious.
hopefully that helps. All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt. I really appreciate that.
Of course.
I think we've got Ed to come back in an MC since I was doing such a bad job. We're going to bring him back.
There's an Ed.
You hear me now?
Like you're, yes. And
Awesome.
Epic mustache as always, Ed. Looking good, man.
Thanks, dude. Thanks. Yeah, I had the beard going for a little bit. You saw it at the summit, and I was like, man, this got to change. There's way too much gray coming in. So, it's starting to creep up this side here now, but whatever. So anyways, how are y'all doing?
Can't complain. Busy as
Awesome.
always.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, IW Land, Matt came in clutch to fix our technical error or my technical error or, whoever. I'll blame y'all. But we got his coming up. His hike coming up this Saturday here in Philly. After that, the next weekend is Knoxville, and we'll talk with John Shawhan here in a little bit. Weekend after that, we have Salt Lake City. I'll be attending that. We have a new LC, Evelyn Clark, taking over there, doing a great job. Later in the month, we got Virginia Beach with David Cram. We'll get him on the show. Same weekend, we have Milford with Bob Savin. Bob is he's one of our 2 civilian LCs that we have. He has Milford and Worcester, Massachusetts. Great guy. I can't wait to have him on the show. End of the month, we have Normandy, one of our Oconus hikes with Corinne. She just did a jump last weekend in preparation of the D-Day jumps they do every year, coming out of a C-47. I'm not sure which one, but we can get those details from her later. And also, we have our Indiana integration coming up as well.
That is a very packed week ahead for the organization. How many hikes is that total, Ed?
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 for the month.
News is if you are somewhere in the country and you want to participate in an IW hike, there are plenty to choose from. So where can we find that information of what hikes are happening when, Ed?
You can find that on the irreverentwarriors.com. You can search it through Eventbrite, or even we have our donor drive for things that are coming up after this month. But yeah, your best place is irreverentwarriors.com under events.
We also have a cruise in Alaska, right?
Yes. When is that one popping up?
Up here any day.
Yeah. That one's coming up right around the corner.
Yeah, I can't wait to see some of the videos and photos from that. But yeah, I mean, I want to encourage folks, if you haven't been to an IW hike, I want to encourage you, join the Facebook group for the hike that you'd like to go to. So let's say that there's a hike in Philadelphia and I'm in Chicago, and I'm interested in going, but I'm not. I don't really want to spend the money to fly. You can always jump on that IW Philadelphia Facebook group, which would be in Facebook, IW space Philadelphia, and what you can do is you can post in that group and ask, is anybody road tripping from Chicago? And you can almost always find different groups of people that are going from different parts of the country, and team with them and get to know make some new friends and jump in and share some time together and get to a hike. You don't have to wait for the hike in your city. I know that's once a year, right? But if you're willing to move around a little bit and you're willing to meet some new people, you can get to a hike.
Or you can start your own.
That's true. Yes. You can join. You can volunteer.
Yeah, volunteer, come into the fold, produce the big thing. Yeah.
Yep. All right, Ed, what do we got next? Who do we want to talk to?
Let's get John here. Hi, John.
Mouth is moving.
There we
Mouth
go.
is moving and no sound. You got me now.
Yeah, we got you.
Awesome. What's up, y'all? How are you?
Doing
Sweet. Thanks
great,
for
man.
having me on. Yeah.
Oh, well, tell us a little bit about Knoxville, man. What do you got coming up?
So we have our 6th annual Silky Site coming up in a little over a week, and we're completely geared up and ready to rock and roll. Expecting close to 300 veterans in, and yeah, so we've had to pivot from last year because we couldn't cross streets and stuff in little downtown Knoxville without pissing everybody off and
Nice.
stopping traffic for a long time. So yeah, we're gonna hit some greenways this year. It's gonna be
Great.
shaded and scenic, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man. So
Nice. So you answered my one question about your attendance level. Is about 300. Is that about your average of what you're getting every year?
no, no. Last year was a kind of a kick in the gut, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, our average was usually about 120, 130.
Okay.
2 years ago we jumped up to 160, and then last year we were just over 300. So um,
Nice.
yeah, we got going a little bit late this year because we weren't ready for the donor drive, so we got our Eventbrite posted up a little bit late. But
Okay.
I think right now we're 220, and we're notorious for having people sign up the week of. So we had 60
Nice.
people sign up the Friday before the hike last year. It was awesome.
Nice. Yeah, my wife always says plan for 300 and 100 degrees and pouring down rain, and you're set.
Yep, and you'll be
Uh,
you'll be good.
yeah. What are people have to look forward to in Knoxville? Like, would you have a major landmark that you're going to be stopping at, or a cool stop or engaging?
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
special treats coming up?
Yeah, so we do have some cool stops. It's not the historic Knoxville landmarks and places like before, since we are going to be Greenway traveling. But we got a couple park stops. We're going to have a twerk off and some games at one of our stops. So looking forward to see which branch can get out there and shake the most.
You
So
say a twerk off?
yes, sir.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's the tissue box with the ping pong balls or whatever in it. Yeah,
All right. I'll
yeah.
let you.
So
I'll
we're
let
gonna
the
get that going.
HR department know.
Yep. Yeah, Christy. I will say Christy was kind of against that one, but you guys know Christy.
Yeah. Just Debbie Downer.
Um. Yeah. So
IW is very
so this is.
competitive. Like, you guys are so competitive in everything you do.
They're doing
Oh,
a twerk off.
100%.
I know. We just had the barbecue competition, and now
Yep.
we're twerking, and we got it's just everything's a competition with you guys. It's awesome.
Speaking of which,
I mean,
at the Combat Outpost IW leadership retreat, it was at Texas versus Tennessee barbecue contest, and we've got representatives of both states right here.
Yeah.
And the results came in. Tennessee won by a hair.
By a hair,
wow.
By a hair.
man.
Man, I
Wow,
thought they would
that's-
have won by a lot more than a hair. They did a great job.
Not despite your best efforts, because I got to say, if you weren't there this weekend, so Memphis went head to head with Texas, and the both of them were absolutely fantastic. But when you came into the little mess hall, they gave you this little card, and it had
The scoring.
a scoring card, right?
Yeah.
So you rated your meal, and there's different
Yep.
categories and all this. And the second night, when it was Memphis's turn, I didn't notice it was a Texas person that hand me my card, and I got all the way through the dinner. And when I went to hand it in, only to discover the damn card had already been filled out, and it was all ones across the board.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, some cheating going on in there.
Yeah, there was some election fraud. Is that what you're saying?
There was some shenanigans.
Nice. Wait, so tell me more. I need a detailed description of this twerk contest. I'm not understanding. So you're saying that there's a box with to tell me about it again? I'm sorry, describe it.
Yeah, so it's actually typically it's like some DIY that they do for Christmas parties and stuff like that. But one of our team members found it on Amazon, and she's like, "Hey, we got to do this." So every year we try and do something crazy, something a little bit different. And this year it's a belt with that straps through a box, and you fill it full of some ping pong balls, and they just go to town. Whoever can shake out the balls fastest is going to be crowned the winner, the twerk queen, because we have a sash for the winner too.
That's very creative. I thoroughly enjoy that, and I will push that through our HR department for approval. Thank you.
Sweet, awesome. We'll get some video to post out there too. And one secret, you guys will have to tune in to see this. But since we are a one way hike this year, we had to figure out how to get over to the Greenway, and we've got some pretty special buses that they're going to give us a lift over there. So tune in for that. It'll be great. I don't want to ruin that one.
Nice. Well, thank you, John.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, update from Lauren. Lauren Hughes. The cruise is May 31st.
So what all happens on an Alaskan cruise, and where does that start? Is it in Alaska? You got to fly to Alaska, and then you get on the boat, and it drives up down the coastline. Is that what's going on?
Yep. It's you start in the Aleutian Islands. Yeah. So if you think about it, which you're never going to make it to unless you're on a. I mean, the Aleutian Islands are really that crazy strip that kind of comes out where. Yeah. Possibly the first humanoids kind of walked over, to this continent on. But
it's also where the Japanese took American territory during World War II.
Yeah. But there is a hike. There's a Silky's hike on the cruise, so it's pretty cool. The cruise ship gets involved and engaged, and there's a Silky's hike on the cruise. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, so it goes out of Seattle.
Wait a minute. So you go from Seattle all the way up to Alaska?
Yeah.
So you're really kind of doing a coastline of Canada cruise. How many days does it take to get up there?
So I've been on 3 Alaskan cruises, and every time it's usually one day. You have one sea day until you hit Juneau or Skagway or Ketchikan, whichever the stops are. This one is going Juneau, Skagway, Ketchikan, and then British Columbia. You always have to stop in Canada when you're going through Canadian waters, just part of that law. I forgot what it's called, but you usually get a couple sea days in between all that. And you're just stopping in these little fishing villages.
How many people are on that cruise with you? I mean, I'm sure IW is not filling up a whole cruise ship. So, I mean, are you coming in as part of like other organized groups, or is it just kind of our little section and just a regular normal cruise with a random allotment of people?
No, we're our own group. It's all set up through Superliner Travel, and I think I'll have to see what numbers they have for this year. If Lauren can comment on here. But usually it's just a whole group setup deal.
You guys ever catch veterans aboard the ship that join the hikes and become part of IW?
I don't know. Yeah. I haven't been part of an IW cruise yet. One day when I grow up, I'll be able to attend.
All right. Well, what else we got going on, Hugh?
Awesome. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks for the update.
Good to see you, man.
Sir.
So we're going to talk about Combat Outpost IW now. And what is Combat Outpost IW? It's our leadership retreat. Mm-hmm. Will, you were there with me.
Yeah, it was great.
And we went out to a camp in the Ozarks, a true combat outpost, like you said, with a mess hall and a drill deck and a helicopter, a Helo LZ, and different platoon villages that everyone lived in. Mm-hmm. And it was awesome. We dipped into learning about a bunch of different healing modalities. A bunch
of different stuff.
So many different healing modalities, and we did a lot of different training, leadership courses. We developed the new IW Leadership Creed. On day one, we screened The Hike Back, which is that film that I know you've seen it. Yeah, very powerful. We are launching that film, the IW story called The Hike Back. We are launching that award-winning documentary on Amazon Prime and YouTube streaming in July for our 10-year anniversary.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then after we did that screening, we did the Mike Wilkie Cigar Social in honor of our illustrious leader Mike that we miss so dearly. And we had custom cigars that were contributed and made specifically for that cigar social in his honor. And then we did a Silkies hike to Lincoln Lake, which right there in the Ozarks, coming over the bluff or the hill as we were doing this Silkies hike and coming down, looking at the lake, was just an incredible, gorgeous view down there. And that was pretty special. And then we came back and we did cold plunges. So for the first time, the IW leadership team experienced getting into these tubs with ice at different temperatures for different. There you go. You can see it right there on the video. But there were different temperatures and different times for people to experience.
Man, look at you, dude. In that tub of water. You're all tatted up, man. You're right out of prison, dude. Right up. You're a true Marine. Look at that.
Yeah, the military can be a little bit like prison. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I learned how to push through a panic attack when I got in that cold plunge tank. I think the first 30 seconds were shock, and then I felt anxiety just build like crazy out of nowhere. It was like a panic attack that went from 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. And everything in me was screaming to get out. And I was like, I can't because I'm in front of everybody.
You're the guy.
Yeah, I was one of the first people in, and I was doing it by example. So I was like, no, I can't do that. So I just got into like a breath work, breathing through my nose and then as deep down into my stomach or my lower lung as I possibly could. And the panic just kept building and my mind saying, you're going to die, you're an idiot, you're doing this in front of everybody. Like, just like all those different negative voices are going on in my head, right? And I just felt just like I'd made a horrible decision. It was just like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of here. And I just kept breathing. And then all of a sudden, I can't even explain this, really. It's hard to put into words, but I just punched through that panic attack into this blissful state where I regained my confidence in myself. It was so crazy because it was nothing like, I never expected to handle a panic attack in that manner. Because I think I just thought at one point, I just said, well, then I'm going to die. My brain's telling me you're going to die, you're going to freeze to death, you're about to have a heart attack. And I just said, well, I'm doing this in front of everybody and I'm asking them to do it. So I guess I'm just going to die then. I'm going to be the example,
There's
right?
no choice.
And so, but all of a sudden I punched through something mentally. There was a wall of anxiety and all this stuff. And I was like, and I just said, all right, I'm going to die. And then somehow I just punched through it without even intent, like by just surrendering essentially, right? To the process. And then I punched through that mental wall of all that din of voices that were burying me with this fear. And all of a sudden I was like, hey, my self-confidence is back and thriving. Like, it was crazy. I felt it like right here. Mm-hmm. And it was this, I can do this. And then I was like, oh, I can really do this. Oh, I can really do this. And then I was doing it. And then when my time came up after 3 minutes of being in there, and it was freezing water, and they were like, all right, it's time for somebody else to go. And I was like, I can just keep going. And they were like, no, you got to get out.
How long can you do that for? How long's too long?
Oh, I'm not an expert. We had some trained folks there leading us through it, so I don't remember. But 3 minutes was what I was supposed to do. Okay. We offered 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 3 minutes.
And you could have gone on.
Yes. Oh, but after I punched through after that panic attack, I was like in a state of euphoria, I guess you could say. And it made me realize, like, I was always trained that when you're having a panic attack, take a Xanax. Like that's what I was taught after my second combat tour in Iraq.
Right.
And what I kind of realized is, like, maybe a cold plunge could be way better, way more available, more cheap than a Xanax.
Yeah.
And so much better because it's not all those chemicals or whatever, those dependency things that are turning on your brain.
Right.
A cold plunge, you're not going to get addicted to a cold plunge.
I wouldn't think so.
Like, you're just not. It's just uncomfortable, So that was pretty cool.
Although people do seem to fall in love with it. All the people, Ed and Matt.
There's a bunch of weirdos that just want to do it every single morning. But I kind of understand now that I felt that.
Kyle's doing it now. I saw his stuff on social media. He's chilling in the cold plunge tank.
Leading by example. That's right. And then after the cold plunge, we did Triangular Compass, which was Grunt Style Foundation's trademarked formula for teaching wellness and understanding. Yeah, to tell us a little bit about Triangular Compass.
It is a mind, body, and spirit approach. The basics of it are identify where you are now, where you want to go, and what it is, those things that kind of speak to you. And then once you identify what those modalities are, how they can be employed for making ground in areas of the mind, and the mental wellness, and the physical wellness with the body, and spiritual wellness for the soul. So it's a really great program. We're pleased to get that out. We're starting to push that out down in Texas way to some of the law enforcement and firefighter communities. So we're starting to make some good progress with the first responders with that program. We're thrilled that the IW leadership got to participate in that. What I would like to see is I'd like to get all of the LCs at some point, or at least those that want to, trained in becoming facilitators for the Triangular Compass and bring that back to their communities.
Oh, yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. I love that because, you're right. When we were going to the journaling exercise of identifying where you are in current state with your health, with your mental state, with your spirit, and writing down the different things that you're dealing with, the different issues that are coming up in those lanes, and then defining where it is you want to be in the future, and then trying to plot a course to get there by taking very small baby steps. You know, we're not asking anybody to do anything crazy or shift their whole life or tell them, oh, you've got to go do cold plunges or anything. And specifically, it's just what do you feel called to? How do you heal yourself, right? And it's helping empower people, because a lot of what we learned in the military and a lot of what we've learned from the VA and the government is somebody else is going to do a test on you and then tell you what you need, right? And so that framework is about empowering people to take their healing into their own hands and to become confident that your heart is going to guide you toward the right path for you. And it's going to call out to different things. Each person has different things that inspire them and speak to them, right? Because it was after that we got into the equine therapy, group meditation, plant medicines, breath work, and the overprescription class. And people were called, it's just like, hey, we want to give you an overview of all these modalities, but then you're going to decide which one you want to go home and engage with, And some people were saying, hey, the journaling thing really, I just realized I really need to implement that, or the gratitude practice that we did in the middle of the Silkies hike. People are really feeling called into these different things, and the idea is we just want to expose people to different things.
The experiences that were had. I mean, I know I had a lot of people come up and tell me all about their experience they had with the hypnotism class, and that was super impactful. I had a lot of people stop me on G.V. Freeman's the breathwork class. That had a lot of big stories that were shared around the campfire on that night on both those modalities. So that was just a tremendous opportunity for people to see some stuff and engage in some things that are sometimes off the beaten path. And I would love, again, building on like how can we get our LCs really acting as shepherds for the entire veteran community in their local home areas. I'd love to see, LCs putting on these types of retreat weekends for their area and their constituents and their town, and reaching out to all the veterans and maybe even the more wider public, to lead an event like that. So I think we're going to go down that road to see how we can build that scaffolding and let these folks start bringing some healing to their peeps.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about allowing people to just dip their toe into a lot of different healing things, whether it's beekeeping, no matter what it is, just being aware and being connected to people in that community. As a veteran leader, as an IW leader, it helps you refer people who are struggling to something that they might feel called toward. So the better networked we are within these healing modalities, we're not saying that anybody needs to go get trained and be a facilitator of beekeeping, right? But we're saying that each veteran leader in a given community, you need to know who is doing veteran beekeeping healing in your area and just be connected with them.
Yeah, maybe it would be so easy to put in like
that's
that. You find these state campgrounds. I mean, they're fairly cheap to rent.
Dirt cheap.
There's all these practitioners are all, just go into Google and type in singing bowls or hypnosis or breath work and find these folks there in the
group meditation.
Yes, and bring them together,
yoga. Whatever it is. Just being able to get that going and as an LC, as a local coordinator for IW, being able to understand what is available and having good relationships with people.
Yeah, and
being
it doesn't
connected.
have to just be the LC. I mean, those folks are tasked with an awful lot. This would
Yeah,
be a
that's
great
true.
leadership opportunity for someone else in the chapter that
feels
wanting
called.
to step up, that would like to
Yeah.
facilitate it. I'd love to help try to build something out with that and get that rolling. So it's on our to-do list for sure.
I love that idea. Yeah. So the holistic modalities was educational portion of the leadership retreat was really, really fun. And then we did a film screening of American Sons.
Oh yeah, that was dark.
Yeah, American Sons is a documentary that is going around the film circuit, Sundance, and these different festivals right now. And American Sons is a documentary about a Marine in Helmand, Afghanistan, and then the struggle that his group of friends has after their combat tour, and the way that healthcare and psychotropic medications are turning these guys into zombies.
Yeah, I wish that. I mean, that was a fantastic movie. The guy that put that together did one hell of a job.
Oh my gosh, Oliver and Andrew from American Sons. Yeah,
yes.
they blew away.
I wish there's a little. I mean, of course, we're immersed in it, so we see it a little bit weird, different than everybody else. But I wanted to spend more time with the guy, the character in the film that had all those pill bottles. Yeah, because you only see it for a split second, but it tells this whole other story that's going on the side.
Yeah, Ty is really struggling. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But what a. I mean, his words inspired me so much when he said that. Like, I would go back right now. He said, of anything I've ever done in my life, like I'd go back to Helmand with those guys from 12th Marine Regiment right now.
Yeah.
And he meant every word of it. After everything he's been through, the TBIs, the combat wounds, like all that stuff that he went through, he still is like down to go back into the fight with his guys. And that was incredibly inspiring. Like, his statements in that film stood on their own. Anyway, I recommend to anybody that if there's an American Son screening in your city as it goes across the country, please go see it, because it is near and dear to what we're doing at IW, and it's near and dear to the veteran experience right now with the overprescription pandemic that's happening.
And I think IW is uniquely positioned to help facilitate some of those screenings around the country and get involved. But I think we'll keep playing with that idea, and so we can build that out too. But I think that's another great opportunity for the LCs to get involved. I love that whole idea. It's such a powerful film, and it conveys the veteran experience to people that, if you don't live it, or you don't have a family member dealing with it,
sure.
It's a pretty obscure little universe there that most people do not understand. And I think that was an excellent window.
It bridges the gap.
That. It does.
It bridges the gap.
I want people to see that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Well done, American Sons.
American Sons, fantastic film. And the filmmakers came all the way to the Ozarks, to Combat Outpost IW, to meet everybody and to do a Q&A with the audience. Yeah, fantastic guys. And then after that, we did the IW Leadership Creed, where we essentially, as a IW leadership team, everybody was able to lend their opinions in and to vote and prioritize the different traits of an IW leader. And we ended up defining the IW Leadership Creed. And I can read it to you.
I want to hear
it. Yep. So, as an IW leader, I swear to adapt, overcome, and laugh about it.
That's a good one.
Listen like I mean it.
Yeah, the most important one of all, probably.
Call out the BS, starting with my own.
Okay, maybe that one's the most important. I don't know.
Empowering the tribe.
That's a good one, too.
Leading with heart and humor, both.
Yeah, it'd be like Mike.
Semper Silkies, always healing.
I like that one too. Man, those are all good.
Yep. And then after that, after we did the IW Leadership Creed, we did the Be Like Mike Wilkie Award, which went to Roberto from Memphis.
Yeah.
And there was not a dry eye in the house. Bill Wilkie, Mike's brother, came to Combat Out. Awesome dude.
I've been spending some good amount of time on the phone since the conference with Bill. Yeah, we're coming pretty close, man. He's a good dude. We've got a lot in common.
He's like a twin of Mike, but different.
Yeah.
But they philosophically they're
there, man. We
what a special family.
They're warrior poets, man. That's what they are.
They are very wise beyond their years. So here's Mike is here with us now, and he will always be with us. His spirit will always be with us in IW. A lot of hikes have the Mike's face that they're taking around to the different hikes in honor of his memory. And so, yeah, that was really special. The Be Like Mike Award.
It was.
And yeah, Reeves brought that from North Carolina, and it was etched in stone. Just a really, really beautiful award. And then, as we mentioned, all the different holistic healing things, which brings me back to the GSF integration retreat.
Yep.
Talk to us a little bit about what you're bringing, or what you're excited about with the integration retreat. It's May 16th through the 18th at McCormick Creek State Park in Indiana, right?
Yes. The thing I am the most excited about, I'm gonna talk to that one specifically because I'm excited, and I like to talk about things that excite me because I think that comes through better. Apparently, they've got one of the finalists from Forged in Fire. I think that's the name of the show, right?
Yeah.
Where they make the knives.
Like metal.
Yeah, they
work.
take like tools and shit and melt it down, and then they
Swords.
Yeah, like
That's
crazy
totally
stuff.
up your alley.
Yes, I love that stuff.
Oh my gosh,
man.
that's hilarious.
I want to go meet that guy.
Oh no, are you going to start forging Viking equipment now?
I might, or yeah, man, why not? Make a big old sax knife, and
I could totally
got
see
some
that.
Romans. I would be down for that.
Oh my gosh, I could totally see that. That's hysterical. But yeah, that's May 16th through the 18th at McCormick Creek State Park.
And it's going to be just, it's kind of a bigger version than what we, we're highlighting at the IW Combat Outpost IW conference.
Yep.
It's probably a little bit smaller scale than the big one we do in September, but very much in that vein.
Yes.
Love that event.
Yes.
I loved what we did at Combat Outpost IW, so I am chomping the bit to get out there to this event, and just super excited. I mean, this is literally a buffet line of different things that are incredibly healing or can be used for healing, that are terribly interesting, that people can really get super involved in. And
and GSF, you guys are GSF is giving out scholarships to IW folks, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so I believe it's $55 to sign up and to come, and that includes lodging and meals and everything. And if you cannot afford that and you are an IW hiker, then you can reach out on the IW in Indianapolis Facebook group or the IW Vincennes Facebook group, and you would just search I.W.Indianapolis or Indy or I.W.Vincennes and join either of those Facebook groups and then ask about the scholarship option.
Yeah, and it's we're going to do the same for the one in September as well. We just want people to come. So we're just going to try to keep pushing that as best we can and make this accessible to everybody that could possibly get there. Because, you don't know when you find something that just scratches that itch you didn't know that you had.
Yeah.
And that can turn into a lifelong path of healing and put
Yeah.
those pills down or whatever
Yep.
other coping mechanism that you have, whether it's
Yep.
alcohol.
Alcohol, I see that as so much in our community is just reaching. I mean, we were almost basically trained to reach for alcohol.
Right. And that was the best part of the weekend, man, for me, really, was coming at the end of it and, watching, and everybody came in with pretty open minds. I mean, it's first time a lot of those folks had seen anything like that. And so there was definitely some skepticism coming in, but
Sure.
it was an open-minded skepticism.
Healthy skepticism.
I think so. But I feel like by the end of the weekend, there was a bunch of people that truly understood the intention of what was trying to get put down there. And I think they picked that up pretty well. So this work that's getting ready to happen at this next event in Ohio there, in Indiana, is going to be amazing.
Yes.
Just let it continue to spread. Lean into it. Go play ball, man. Forge the knives. Keep the bees, and all the other cool things that are going to be there. It's going to be a good time. We'll be there.
And then we have a big GSF retreat in Missouri in September, and then we've got a big GSF retreat in Puerto Rico in at the end of the year.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah. And then we've got the annual IW National Float Trip in the Ozarks on the Merrimack River, June 20th through the 22nd.
Yeah, come down, everybody. Come float the river.
We've got the 10-year anniversary of IW. We're doing a massive concert on the steps of the Arch on the Mississippi River on the 4th of July.
Yes.
75,000 person concert usually.
It's badass.
Yeah, so we're doing that for the 10-year anniversary, and we're going to have backstage VIP area.
They'll take you up on the stage.
Yep, free food, we'll go up on stage.
Yeah.
Free food, free drinks for IW. So that's going to be really awesome. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up.
I'm going to be exhausted by the time we get to the
Same.
fall.
I'm like talking to it. I'm like, this is exciting,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm not going to sleep a whole lot this summer.
That's probably true, but it's worth it, man. So it's working. Well, if this is what carrying the load looks like, and I've been carrying the load for Joe for a lot of years, man. This is the easiest and most enjoyable burden to carry ever is trying to do the work of this foundation, because luckily it's a lot of fun. So
I agree.
Bring it on.
I agree. All right. Well, that kind of wraps up everything that we had to cover today on today's episode. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And as always, stay linked into our socials to see what we have. We always have surprises. We always have press releases. You never really know what you're going to get. Thank you, Matt, Gunnery Sergeant Shawhan, and Ed Eaton for joining us today. Really appreciate you all.
We need to bring Matt from Philadelphia back on.
Let's bring him back on
next week.
Yeah.
Let's bring
why
him.
not?
Well, we screwed up all the time with the weird technical issues, and I was wanting to hear more about Philadelphia.
Got it. Yep. Yeah. Well, he'll be able to tell us how it went.
All right. Do they climb the stairs in Philadelphia where they did the Rocky thing?
Well, he mentioned that this year there was another group that during that time frame that
has it. You have to if I crash the party, man, take it over anyway.
Yeah. Well, yep. You got to have something to look forward to next year.
Well, I guess that's true. To crash it, Matt.
Oh yeah, you could
it.
totally crash it. I mean, it's not like we haven't crashed weddings before in Silky. So,
Crash it.
I think I could get our HR team to approve that as well. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Until next week. See ya. Good luck.
Take care.
Awesome.